Hey everyone, Kane here and welcome to another video of Art of Conquest. In this one I will give you a few tips on how you would be able to improve your PvP by just probably placing or replacing a couple of things. So we have to touch on my formation first and foremost. So this is what I currently have, and the first tip will be a clone Tiadrin. Now, why would you want to have a clone Tiadrin on your field? And that is pretty simple, because of her Sacred Shield ability. Meaning, if this ability doesn't proc, kind of placing this hero on the field isn't really that beneficial. Like, for example, if the enemy burst side comes up on your stall side and your Tiadrin is on your burst, if they break your stall, they're usually gonna pincer and beat you regardless of what this particular hero brings. However, if you would have two Tiadrins and you have the mirror at 4-star that inherits like 80% HP, you pretty much have a clone Tiadrin with like what, 140 million HP? So still proccing this particular shield regardless of which one of the two heroes proc it is still pretty huge. That's gonna be like 40-50 million HP shield or whatever. And still, if you are taking into consideration that your buffers don't really have a ton of HP, same for your sages, like for example Floras as well, I mean that's like double their HP bar or whatever, and that can make your buffers, your in some cases even DPSers, survive longer than they would have without this particular thing. So I don't think that the shield will proc twice. It will only proc once, I guess, I believe. However, it will still proc at the very beginning, and the very beginning is where it is important for that shield to proc. Meaning your entire field of heroes gets the shield. The enemy will require to do like 2 to 4 Avril abilities just to kill any of the heroes. And if they don't kill those heroes, pretty much a ton of their DPS is gone and they will likely not bypass the stall side. Now, if you would not have this, if they do kill a decent portion of your buffers, you lose prism arrays, you lose other hours, you lose other bonuses, and then your stall side is gonna fall, even if some of the heroes did survive. Usually when your heroes start falling quickly is when your stall side also starts to fall pretty quickly. So that is the first tip. The second tip is also on Tiadrin, and that is pot 70. So some people are using Sacred Shield potential with a single Tiadrin. Now the thing is, yes, I mean, if you go burst versus burst and your Tiadrin is frontline, I understand your burst probably will be incredibly tanky as well. However, if you have two Tiadrins, right? So regardless of what you face, either burst or stall or whatever of the enemy side, if one Tiadrin dies, the other still has this particular aura and still reduces magic resistance of enemy melee heroes. And sometimes the melee heroes are tankier than frontline. Not all cases, but sometimes like they have a ton of heals, like Balrogs or whatever, or Banes. They just end up not dying. And you know, something like this is one of the very few awesome buffs that you might have on the field. So, 2 tips on one hero that some people might not have or are not properly using it. Of course, you can test them out, see how it performs, but I don't see myself swapping out from Clone Tiadrin anytime soon. The other thing is Rose. Now, yes, this hero is 3x3. Yes, it takes a lot of space. However, one of her exalted abilities, that is Venom Explosion, grants you a pretty huge buff on the enemy, or debuff on the enemy. Spiralings are conditioned to burst upon death or have 10% chance to spew venom when they attack, increasing the magic damage taken by enemy by 40%. I mean, you reduce attack speed and movement speed, but increasing magic damage taken by 40%. That is the exalted ability. I would say if you're running mages, that is incredibly important and you should not miss out on this. If she survives and she spawns a ton of spiders, this is pretty huge, not gonna lie. And after that, I do believe the fourth tip would be talk potential 70. Now, I don't think many people use this. I'm not certain this is huge. I haven't really tested it. I just seen percentages for more damage, more attack speed, more HP in the very beginning of the fight where everything really matters, and even a buff like this should actually perform wonders in helping you break through the enemy. However, I haven't again really tested it, how well this scales, how well this performs. All I know is you still have this, but instead of 10 seconds, it adds another 10, which again is kind of important because you're going to have like what 30-35% bonus prior to this 20 seconds ending. And if you have a couple of, you know, Avril's Arcanade Bursts or whatever, or Tisafin is damaging a Gladiator, all of these buffs are going to help you out. But again, I haven't tested it to 100% whether or not this performs like incredibly well, whether this is game breaking or not, but this is what I use to overbuff my field as well, and this procs on everything, your heroes, your army, your dragon, etc. And aside from that, the fifth tip is going to be Gazzle, Fearsome Aura. Now again, this is magic damage taken by enemy troops by 15%. Now this says troops, so 100% this means army. However, there are a ton of things in terms of trinkets and other abilities and all that kind of stuff that also affect heroes, even though it says troops. So this has to be tested. I have not really tested it myself, but if it does work on heroes, it's good. If it doesn't, it still works on army that you kind of require to bypass. Now, yes, this is a double-edged sword if you're playing human with archers or whatever that can run away. I mean, if enemy is still going to have this and you don't, you're just missing out on additional damage. But then again, if you kill the enemy's Gazzle pretty quickly, then you have nothing to worry about. But, you know, it's 50-50. I mean, whether or not it's going to be worse for you if you don't have it, or you kill enemy Gazzle and you can benefit from not having it. You know, it's sort of things that might need to be thought about in terms of your own formation building. And probably one of the main or more important things that a lot of people are missing, though I'm not sure if I have graphics set on. Yeah, so I do. And that is the sixth tip, is the armory. Now, the armory one, a ton of people are failing. Like, they are failing so friggin' hard, and they don't even realize it because they don't have graphics to check the buffs. So, let's talk about my formation further. Do you see this whole corner right here? The 3-line in terms of heroes. I have Mage, Necromancer, Necromancer, Mage, 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 Necromancer, right? And I have nothing else past this line, which means if the Shadow Leopard procs on this line also benefits from it. Then this line, so if Rufio jumps up, then they will all benefit from it because Rufio will be in that debuff as well, or buff as well. However, if this procs on the middle, entire thing will benefit from it. If this procs on this line, the Avril and whatever still benefits from him. Tisafin can hit sideways, Valerie hits sideways, all of them benefit from it. Now, what this person did is he split his mages and necromancers too far apart. So on the corner, he has mage, mage, necromancer, necromancer, mage, mage. And what we have here, necromancer. Now, I'm not sure what the percentage chance to proc those abilities are in terms of armory, but I noticed that when you place one hero further away from the entire group, it will always proc Shadow Leopard on that one hero far away so that nobody can actually benefit from it. And that happens to a lot of people. And having zero graphics, you don't even realize what mistake you're doing. And we can showcase in just this battle as well. So as you can see, he procced Shadow Leopard on Gazul. All of his mages are right here. My Shadow Leopard procced on the very corner. So the only buffs, debuffs he has is on the front line a little bit here and on a couple of buffers, debuffers. And that's it. It's free reign for my burst side. I don't have any debuffs. My front line in terms of the burst side or even heroes don't have any debuffs. And they don't have buffs as well. And you know, it's huge. It's really huge, and you should not make such mistakes. You should properly make your burst sides. If your main stuff are mages, you really have to put them closer together to not miss out on a ton of bonuses, even as simple as this. If you're running mages, Shadow Leopard is important. Placing properly is even more important, because having something like this, you're just wasting a level 60 armory piece. And in such a case, you could have just benefited more if you would have something else in terms of defensive abilities or not. Now, this is not always gonna proc like this, but I mean, you're just making it so that you have a high chance of losing a fight just due to placement issues. And placement issues kind of have to be fixed. And, you know, the only times you would want to lose is when the enemy is just far stronger than you and not just random placement issues or failures or whatever. And I suppose these are the tips that could probably help you improve your DPS potential, help you do more damage, and bypass more stuff. I mean, there are, of course, many more things, but I suppose these are the things that quite a few people are missing out on from the way I inspect quite a few fights. And, like, mainly the reason why people are ranking up is that they have a lot more stats in terms of various other features, but you don't really need, like, as huge amount of stats if you have proper debuffs set up and buffs and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you found it useful. And if you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. As well as if you would wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where you would be able to do just that. In return, I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of events, PvP, formations, and stuff like that. As well as I would like to thank all of my patrons for the support. I really appreciate it for your subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.